Greetings to all viewers. This is King H.O. I want to have a discussion. And this discussion is about the revolution in southern Cameroon. It's about what is happening inside Ambazonia. The revolution. Southern Cameroonians, when this revolution started, when President Paul Biya decided to declare war on southern Cameroon because they were asking for a better life as Southern Cameroonians. They were asking for hope because they had lived with hopelessness for the past 50 something years. But President Paul Biya decided to give them war instead of hope. And we had no other choice but to fight this war, since this is the war that's going to give us independence. But Southern Cameroonians, some of our leaders, whether you like it or not, this is the truth. I hope this is, or at least this is King H.O.'s truth. Some of our leaders like Dr. Ayaba Cho, or leaders like Dr. Samuel Sako, these two people with their two organizations, one being AGOFC and the other one being the interim government, have hijacked this revolution for their own personal gains, for their own personal ambition, for their own personal purposes, ignoring the amount of death happening inside southern Cameroon. Ignoring that. If these leaders were leaders for the people of southern Cameroon, then they would have found a way to work together as leaders of the united Ambazonia for a better future, so that the people of southern Cameroon would not suffer. But because they have their own goals, their own purpose, their own reason for fighting this revolution, well, they decide to fight among themselves. In the process of doing the fighting, they're pushing the people, the soldiers of southern Cameroon, fighting each other while we are facing a revolution, while we are facing a war that a well-armed militia from Republic Cameroon is gunning at us. Our leaders have decided to use the soldiers of southern Cameroon to fight each other. For what? Superiority for southern Cameroon, a country that have not yet regained independence. It's in the process of regaining independence. We're fighting each other. The interim government, Dr. Cho Ayaba, and his gangs of surrogates. These gangs of surrogates, being it AGOFC gangs of surrogates or being the interim government gangs of surrogates, pushing division in the air of social media, planting ideas against southern Cameroonians to fight against each other, to hate each other, to fight for group instead of country. You have people fighting for AGOFC, saying AGOFC is the supreme group or whatever, or ADF is the supreme militia, and then the interim government fighting and saying that, oh, they are the voice of the people, they speak for the people. Meanwhile, they don't even listen to what the people are saying. Neither this group listen to what the people are saying, what the people want. We don't want the soldiers that we have managed to equip, the people of southern Cameroon have managed to equip to fight against La République. Soldiers that was meant to be fighting against La République instead are fighting each other because of group supremacy. Southern Cameroon is not free. So we don't have the time, the opportunity, the chance to be fighting each other while our citizens of Southern Cameroon are dying by the hands of La République du Cameroon. You have people in the AGOC, people like Tapang Iwo Tanku, people like Lucas, people like Capo Daniel, Franklin Valer, who are always on the air constantly spewing hatred against other groups, spewing hatred in the minds of Southern Cameroonians, encouraging the leaders, the soldiers on Ground Zero to fight each other. But let me tell you something, Southern Cameroon, and let me list some of the names in the interim government groups of surrogates. You got people like Gina Muff, you got people like Jennifer PK, you got Mr. Nanchum, who come constantly on Facebook, spend times, hours spewing negativity within the citizens of Southern Cameroon, spewing hatred instead of brotherhood. Instead of encouraging unity, even in the bitterness of hatred, we should be pushing for unity, because that is the key for the survival of Southern Cameroon. If Southern Cameroonians are not united to see that independence, to see that freedom, to see that sovereignty of Ambazonia, it will be taken away just like that. Why? Because we got people like Joe Ayaba, people like Dr. Samuel Sako, who don't want to put the interests of Southern Cameroon first. They're putting group politics first. And group politics is destroying Southern Cameroon. We've been fighting this war for 3 years, give or take. And with what we have, we should have been able to free certain counties, at least even 4 or 5 counties, if the soldiers on Ground Zero were not fighting among themselves. If the soldiers on Ground Zero from all the 14 counties, from the Dian County, from the Fako County, from the Meme County, from the Momo County, Manu County, if all the military groups that we have in the 14 counties were fighting the forces of La République du Cameroon within those counties, I'm quite sure by now we should have at least had 4 or 5 liberated counties. Yes, we started to make sure that Southern Cameroon is ungovernable. Right now, we know Southern Cameroon is ungovernable because mayors, DOs, even governors are not to be found inside Northern Zone and Southern Zone. Why? Because Southern Cameroon is ungovernable. The political leaders or the leaders of the Republic of Cameroon cannot rule peacefully inside the land of Southern Cameroon. So we have done that part. We've made Southern Cameroon ungovernable. What's the next stage? The next stage is to make sure that our counties, our 14 counties inside Southern Cameroon, are liberated. And in order to have liberation in those counties, the forces on Ground Zero from within each county will have to work as a team. It doesn't matter if you're of AGOC, it doesn't matter if you're of interim government, it doesn't matter if you're ADF, it doesn't matter if you're Restoration Forces, it doesn't matter if you're AMF, it doesn't matter what group of militia you're part of, so long as you're fighting for one thing, Southern Cameroon or Ambazonia. That is our goal, to eliminate the forces of La République du Cameroon in our counties. and eventually in the country known as Amazonia. But because of group politics and money. And let me tell you something, Southern Cameroonians on Ground Zero. This money is given to those groups by citizens, by your own brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora. So they don't expect the money that they have donated to be used to kill their own brothers and sisters because of group politics. They don't expect to have that because they have family members on Ground Zero. Some of them are soldiers or military men in ADF or our restoration forces or AMF, and you don't expect that ADF will be killing the soldiers of our restoration forces, or the restoration forces will be killing the military members of ADF. Why should we be fighting each other when we should be supporting and working together as a team to free Southern Cameroon, to free Amazonia? These so-called leaders who want to show supremacy, who want to show that this person is in charge, this person is in control. Meanwhile, Southern Cameroon is still partially controlled by La République du Cameroon. Not completely, but partially. And that is what we want to get rid of. The goal is to make sure that the forces of La République du Cameroon are eliminated inside Southern Cameroon. You know, as I said earlier, Chris Arnold was literally spewing his heart out, saying that 70% of the Amber War draft donations were pledges. They haven't gotten the cash. But this is something that was promoted. It was something that was going to change the revolution. It was going to revolutionize the entire structure of how this revolution will be fought. But it was a conman's ideology. Because Sarko is a conman. Whether you like it or not, he's a conman. That's what he does. That's who he is. It's a conman. And he came up with a conman strategy to get Southern Cameroonians interested in donating money because of the pledges. Hearing a huge sum of pledge that's been given by people will also encourage Southern Cameroonians to give real money. The pledges was a strategy to gain actual money. The pledges were not real money, were fake money. The real money was the amount of money donated by people that were encouraged or inspired to donate money because of the huge pledges that they heard. That's the strategy. And some people understood the strategy. And it's like this, we said it's like it's fake. You're not going to get all that money in a time when things are so difficult, even in the United States. People have lost their jobs. They're struggling. The economy is down. All the way from China to the United States, the economy is down. People are not going to be able to just give that huge sum of money. You keep hearing, oh, this person has pledged this amount of money. Man, that's fake. We all knew that. But people on Ground Zero saw that as real and were hoping to see this money to use to fight the revolution. Some of them were even saying that some of the surrogates of the interim government were saying that, oh, we cannot use this money and give people of the ADF. The ADF, though, the people of the ADF know that the money that was raised during Amber War draft is fake. It's not the real money. So the amount of money that was raised compared to the amount of money that was raised in the Amber War draft compared to the amount of money raised with TTOF is maybe around the same, give or take, or lesser, depending. So it's just a scam. It's a work. You know, Samuel Sako is a scam artist. He knows what he's doing. His idea is just, well, he used it and he made some money out of it. But is the money enough to sponsor the war? Hell no. And they also have things they gotta do with money. So in other words, you may not be even getting the money on ground zero. But let me tell you something that I actually learned from this Amber War draft. Because when they did the first Amber War draft, it was for all the counties. It was all for Southern Cameroon. And then after that, they decided to go county by county by county, raising money. They actually have it. I think they're going to have the Lebialem County soon to raise money for the Lebialem, and pledges will be given. And in amount of those pledges, you will receive a little bit of amount of money, real money. But everything that will be given out is fake money. Just like the entire Amber War draft, everything is, most of this what is being given out through pledges is fake. But the real catch, give or take, maybe he could get. I don't think it's even gonna get up to $10,000. I don't think so. If it is, then they're lucky. But that amount of money they've been scoring, $480,000, 200,000, these thousand, that's fake money, not real. But anyway, as I was saying, what I learned from this county by county for the Amber War draft is that we can actually still, the best strategy to win this revolution, hands down, whether you like it or not, is county by county. If you can inspire and encourage the people in their counties, the soldiers in their counties, to work together to eliminate, to obliterate, to wipe out the forces of La Republic in their respective counties, using teamwork within the counties. So long as the soldiers on ground zero have the weapons, have the funds that they need, and they're not fighting against each other. Because fighting against each other within your counties and within the whole of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia will actually help to destroy the revolution, which is why some Southern Cameroonians are trying to encourage the soldiers on ground zero to work as a team. Stop listening to this group politics that is being used to destroy the citizens of Southern Cameroon. Group politics is destroying it. It's when soldiers turn against each other, brothers turn against each other in a revolution where they are being killed, hunted down by La Republique du Cameroon, and then you are turning around and killing each other instead of staying focused and working as a team in order to what? Survive. Because when you get killed, you get killed. And the people who are in the diaspora, like me, like Dr. Samuel Sako, like Joe Ayaba, like Capo Daniel, Franklin Vella, Jennifer Piquet, all those people who are speaking and advocating for this unity when we need unity on ground zero. They're using these unities to encourage Southern Cameroons to fight among themselves when we need the soldiers on ground zero to stand together. Because when you lose several soldiers in one camp, being in the opposite camp or being in a different camp, not your camp, it doesn't help that county or doesn't help Southern Cameroon as a whole to win this revolution. Wars are won by soldiers. Wars are won by soldiers, not necessarily money. If you have the money and don't use it well to have a good team of military forces to fight the revolution, you still will not win the revolution. So because some groups of people are sending money or raising money to give to you does not necessarily mean that they have to be the leader to control what is happening on ground zero. Those on ground zero know what is happening on ground zero. They've been fighting this stuff for 3 years. They have the experience to fight this continuously. They don't need extra interference from people who have managed to raise money to control what is happening on ground zero. We all know we're fighting a war, and in a war, if we don't win, then we become complete slaves or we get killed. So it's time for those on ground zero to be smarter. The fact that the AGOFC and ADF is giving money to you does not necessarily mean that they will tell you to go and kill your brother and you go ahead and do that. Or that goes as well to the internal government forces, being the AMF or the RMF. The fact that they're giving you money does not necessarily mean that they control you to go and kill your own brothers when you need your own brothers to survive on ground zero, because there's a war going on and like public is out to obliterate and kill Southern Cameroonians. And it doesn't matter if you're a soldier or a citizen. The numbers are climbing. The numbers of people who are dying day in and day out are climbing. At the end of this war, you'll be surprised if they tell you 1 million people have been killed. Don't be surprised. The fact that they're not counting this shit right now. At the end of this war, don't be surprised to hear about 1 million Southern Cameroonians have been killed. That's a huge amount of number. But we can help reduce this number if only the soldiers on ground zero can work together as a team in their counties, eliminating the enemy on ground zero. Eliminating the enemy. The enemy is like Republic Cameroon. The enemy is not your brother who's fighting in another camp. That's not the enemy. We must desist from killing each other in order to gain independence. Killing your own brothers would not gain you independence. We might just cut your life short. You think you're killing this guy today, you'll not get killed tomorrow? Eventually. Kill somebody's brother, somebody's going to be angry and he's going to do whatever he needs to do to get rid of you. It's time for Southern Cameroons on ground zero to start working as a team. It is crystal clear that Dr. Cho Ayabe is a dictator and a tyrant. It's crystal clear that Dr. Samuel Sarko is a dictator and a tyrant, and those gangs of surrogates who are behind pushing ideas of this unity to the people on ground zero is not helping. They're encouraging citizens of Southern Cameroon to go and kill their own brothers. In time of war, a small nation fighting a bigger nation. And why fighting a bigger nation? Fighting smaller wars within themselves in order to beat the bigger nation. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's not reasonable. It's not. It's time for people on ground zero to think twice. We can win this revolution if we work as a team. And the fact that somebody from a different camp or different group, military group, doesn't make them your enemy. And those who are on top, who have managed to raise money, doesn't necessarily tell you to go and kill your own brothers and sisters because they have given you money. Then you just become what? An assassin. You're no longer a freedom fighter. You are an assassin. That's what the groups of AGOVC and inter-government are informing you to go and assassinate your own brothers and sisters. That's what they're doing. It's no longer war, because when this revolution started, it was to free the people of Southern Cameroon, not brothers and brothers killing themselves while Lipoplague is there obliterating our people. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. And you have some people like Tapang Ivo who literally bully and intimidate soldiers who are fighting on ground zero, who have clearly done the job, deserve the credit, and then he wants to force them and say that they are all ADF and insults them. Do the people on ground zero fighting for the liberation of Southern Cameroon, do they have to be ADF in order to fight for independence for Ambazonia? They don't have to be ADF. They don't have to be ADF. They don't have to be our Ambazonia Restoration Forces or AMF. They could be any other group. So long as their purpose and goal is to